In the last chapter, we learned how to design with CSS, using images and understanding the basics. This time around, we'll learn how to best write CSS, how to review our code, and create links, lists, and navigations with CSS. Let's start styling. We'll first need to redefine our root folder for Chapter 7. So I'm going to go to my Files panel, and I'll choose Manage Sites, and I'm going to click Edit for my Chapter 6, or you can click on New, and I'm going to choose my Chapter 7, and now I need to actually browse for that particular folder, which is my new root folder. And there's my Chapter 7. If you're on a PC, you'll click once on it, say Select, and then say Select again, or right-click and then Select. So I'm on the Mac this time, so I will choose, and now Save. And now Done. So now I have my Chapter 7 available to me. Well, let's start out with a brand new CSS starter page, so we have something to work with. So File and New. Once again, with this particular dialog box, you're able to do lots of different things. So I can start a brand new HTML page and see my layouts from here. I could also create a brand new HTML template from here, and we will talk about templates in another chapter. We can create a brand new library item, action script, CSS file from here, and also work with our back-end elements like Cold Fusion, PHP, or ASP.NET. If I take a look at blank templates, I can also do an HTML template from here, basically the same way I could with a blank page, but really just starting from a template to begin with. I can start out a page from a template. I don't have one already in any of my sites, so we won't be choosing that. I could do a page from a sample. So for instance, Arial is the very first one here, and it shows me some of the paragraph, table, H1 through H6 tags that have already been styled with Arial in CSS. Full design accessible, so it's written to use accessible measurements using EMS and some link effects and just regular text, etc. Now we don't use frame sets much anymore, but here are some elements from my frame sets, and it makes it fairly simple. And some other items that we might want to choose at some point in the future. We won't be getting into these in the Essentials series. So I'm going to go back to my blank page, make sure that I'm on HTML, and let's choose 2 columns fixed, right sidebar, header, and footer. Making sure that I know what doc type that I'm using, whether the layout CSS is going to add it to the head, it's going to create a brand new file, or link to an existing file. And we're just going to create a new file. Now we'll talk about this a little bit later, but I can enable in-context editing from here. In-context editing is something that we could also then use with Business Catalyst, which we will also talk about a little bit later on. But basically, it's a way for me to, without an actual CSS, kind of like a template, allow my client to be able to edit themselves. So I'm going to create, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in my Chapter 7 assets in my CSS file, and I will click Save. And before I start working with the page, I need to save this as well. So this is just an entitled page. So I can either use my keyboard shortcut, or I can do a Save As, and let's just save it as selectors. Because of my resolution, my page is a little bit larger, so I'm going to reduce that a little bit by Command and minus, which is Control plus minus in Windows, just so I can see my page a little bit better.